building custom trees in Minecraft is really difficult. So like any sane person, I built 25 different trees in the attempt to improve just a little bit every single tree. So let's hop right in. So to start things off, I did a nice little birch tree. But I immediately started with experimenting using walls to add like branches, since having big clunky birch blocks is not really realistic. And then I also added in some diorite blocks as texturing, and I decided to do a little funky thing with this one, and I kind of did like fall leaves, but I did like a gradient with it, which I thought was pretty cool. I'm actually really happy with this being the first one that we do, but there was more stuff we could have done to improve this. Alright, so for number 2, I thought I would do something a little bit unique. So I created this sort of dead tree, and I got that effect by using stripped birch as well as sandstone, and as you can see in this one, I started using fence gates and fences instead of just the walls, and it just added just that little more level of detail, and it's also a lot more like thin compared to the walls, and so it makes it look a lot more like branches. Also, Minecraft, why do walls not connect to fences? I mean, I'm fine with using the fence gates, but like that just doesn't make sense. Why does it not do that? And for number 3, I thought I'd play around with the same kind of fall texturing effect for the leaves, but I did an oak tree instead of a birch tree because I'm so creative. But anyways, I'm pretty happy with this one, but I do think the fall colors work a lot better with birch trees. But I guess looking at it from a realistic standpoint, birch trees aren't the only trees that have fall leaves. Okay, and on this next one, I decided to abandon the fall leaves. They're really cool, but I can't do that for every tree. So for this one, I went with pretty much a basic oak tree. But I played around with the stairs that you can see on the bottom. The stairs are like, there's that little indent into the trunk. I think that's really cool. Makes it look natural. And I tried to play with the leaves using different types. And I started by using spruce, but then I thought it just looked a little weird. So instead I combined oak leaves with birch leaves, and I actually really like how it turned out. These two look fairly similar, and they work well with each other. Alright, so for number 5, I decided to do a little bit of a different tree. And you're probably thinking, Morg, what are you talking about? That's just an oak tree. Well, yeah, but it's actually a willow tree. Yay, so fancy, yay. But essentially the whole premise of this is that you have hanging leaves that kind of like drip down like vines. I'm gonna be honest, I'm not entirely happy with this one. I just don't think it looks as good as other ones. Okay, so something I wanted to focus on in this challenge is to improve my leaves, because I think the trunk is the easy part and it actually looks really cool. But then I add the leaves and I'm like, oh, that's ugly. And from watching other builders on YouTube and stuff, I realized my problem is that my leaves are just too clunky. They're too bulky and big in there. Like the willow tree we just made, there's too many leaves. In real life, you see that leaves often have, like, you can see through them kind of. And so what you can do with Minecraft trees is kind of add a bunch of air gaps, and rather than just surrounding the branches with leaves, like leave some holes and leave some variation in there. And also in the comments, let me know if you want to see like an in-depth tutorial on that, because I could actually like explain and show how I do this, because I know it's a lot easier said than done. Alright, so this time I decided to not be boring and do a different kind of tree, like a spruce tree. And for this one, I found that spruce trees are different. So oak trees, you want to like have that natural like looking curve and stuff to it, you know? But with spruce trees, it kind of just goes straight up. It's not really, it's kind of basic. And then you have the branches coming out from the side, and those kind of add the detail. And also, if you notice with this one, this is a really good example for this. The walls, you sometimes have to be a little bit creative because, well, there aren't wood walls, and so really what you have to do is just find one that looks similar. Because when you zoom out, nether brick isn't actually that far from spruce. And then when we added the leaves and stuff, you really can't tell that those are nether bricks. I also added some foliage and stuff. Okay, I'm sorry, but I went back to the birch for this one, alright? Also, ignore the tree in the background. I definitely didn't forget to record. Anyways, now we have like 26 trees, but that's fine. So for this one, I went a little basic, but if you notice, for this birch tree, I started using fences, unlike the previous ones. And yeah, I did kind of just use birch fences, which are more yellow than white, but it doesn't actually stand out that much. Also, if you notice with the leaves, you can see through them. I mean, not very well, but you can still see through them. And that's because I added those variations, and it's like not too clunky. Alright, so for this one I decided to take a trip to the beach. And we made a nice little palm tree. And for this one I wasn't really sure what to do, but I decided to go with the mangrove logs, because I think it's kind of the closest to the look of a palm tree. And then the leaves were a little bit difficult to do, but I kind of just had them like sprout outwards in directions. They're kind of just like branches, how you would do branches but with leaves instead. It's a little weird. Palm trees are weird. And then you can see with the coconuts, I did a little thing with banners and stuff. I think it turned out fine, but it was a little weird. So for number 10, I decided to take another stab at the willow tree. And I don't know, this tree is really weird. I feel like I can't quite get it down. I mean, I like it. I do like how this turned out. And with like the vines coming down and stuff, I think it turned out pretty good. I also really like those torch flowers. They're cool. But it's just, this is a difficult one to do because it doesn't follow the same rules as like a birch or oak tree. I don't know, I'm gonna be honest, the willow tree isn't my strong suit. And for this one, I took a little bit of a trip to East Asia. And we built a cherry blossom tree. I love these trees. Or sakura trees. Why can't I say that? I don't know, whatever you want to call it, I love these trees. I don't know, whatever you want to call them. I've seen these things in person and they're amazing. They're so beautiful. And then you get like the white ones as well. Minecraft should add the white ones. Those are cool too. Or I guess I could just build my own. Oh, that's a good idea. Why didn't I do that? Oh, part 2 maybe? Let me know in the comments if you want that. Anyways, I really like how this turned out. Pretty simple, small one, but I love the pink and purple colors. It's so cool. Alright, so for number 12, I decided to go with another unique one, a redwood tree. Now these are basically really big trees, and that's kind of it. And also I think the inside of the wood is a little bit red, but yeah, whatever. This one, I'm not too sure how to feel about it, because like outside of Minecraft, it's just a basic tree. So there wasn't much I could do with this, but I'm pretty happy with how it turned out. There's not really much to say about that one. And for this next one, I couldn't think of another tree, so I decided to make another spruce one, because why not? I wanted to improve my skills of making spruce trees, and I'm pretty happy with how it turned out. Okay, and for number 14, I thought I would keep this one a little bit simple, but like nice, you know? So I built a tiny little azalea tree, but this is actually a skill that I have been wanting to work on, and that's doing these tiny trees with just the fences. Because working at this small of a scale can be kind of difficult, especially with the leaves. And I think this one isn't too bad. These trees are just a little bit like, I don't know, they're nice. They're nice to have in like a little garden area, but also they're not too incredibly detailed. Alright, and I expanded my wings a little bit, and I made a dark oak tree. I'm actually pretty happy with how it's turned out. I'm gonna be honest, this one, I was tempted not to put the leaves on. I don't know why, I just really like how trees look without leaves. In Minecraft, it just looks so much better, but I had to add the leaves because it's a tree. But I mean, like a spooky dark oak forest, that would be really cool. Maybe I should do that one time. And expanding my wings just a little bit more, I decided to go with an acacia tree for number 16. These trees are, in Minecraft, really boring, and in real life, a little boring, in my opinion. But I thought I'd go for it because it's kind of a unique looking tree. And something I noticed in my Google searches is that the leaves are a little bit unique in that they're kind of just piled up on the top. Like there's still branches at the bottom of the tree near the trunk, but there's only leaves on the top. So these are a little bit unique, but I really like how this turned out. Pretty basic, but also pretty cool. Also, I couldn't find the fence that worked well with this. Yeah, so that's a little bit awkward. Alright, I couldn't help myself. I had to go back to the cherry blossoms. But to make this one a little bit more unique, I did the small version with the fences so I could work on that skill set. I wasn't being lazy, okay? I promise. Well, maybe a little bit, but I had to work on my small trees, okay? Small ones are good too. Alright, you're probably thinking, Morg, why are you making another spruce tree? You already made like 2 of those. Well, I am, but also I'm not. Because it's the holiday season, at least when I'm posting this. I don't know about when you're watching this, but I decided to make a little Christmas tree to celebrate this time of the year. And I'm actually really happy with how this turned out. Look at that star. That took a little bit of time to figure out, but I just kept placing things. And it actually looks like a star. It's a little big, but that's the best I could do. Also, the candles as like little ribbons on the presents, I really like that. When you look closely, it doesn't make sense, okay? But from far away, it kind of looks like ribbons. A little bit. Is that just me? Alright, and for number 19, I made yet another oak tree. But this one, okay. I was thinking, this is a little bit boring and basic. Everyone knows how to make an oak tree. So I decided to make a little fancy with some details by adding glow lichen, a bunch of flowers, and small drip leaf, and also those roots hanging off. That looks good. Alright, so for number 20, since this is number 20, I decided to go way out of my comfort zone and build a mangrove trees. Now these are very unique. Now these I also have actually seen in real life, and they're really interesting. But also looking at them in real life, it's like, how would you make that in Minecraft? That's like difficult. So naturally I just scaled it up a bunch compared to real life. But that's fine because at least it looks cool. But yeah, basically I just had these roots coming off the ground and they formed into the trunk, which then formed into branches, like a normal mangrove tree. And then of course had to have the water in the middle. And thanks to World Edit, we could change the biome. And I also added those little cattails with the brown candles. And I really like that detail. It's really nice. Alright, so number 21, I went a little more out of my comfort zone. And this tree is actually inspired by Flip. And he is an amazing Minecraft YouTuber and an amazing builder. And I know I didn't make this tree as well as he does, but he makes ones very similar to this one, using the stone walls and the birch leaves and then the plants all around it. I really like how this looks. It's very easy and simple. I don't know, go watch his videos. You'll see them in the background and they look really cool. Alright, I'll stop geeking out over Minecraft YouTubers. And number 22, I decided to go back to the holiday spirit, and I made something a little bit unique. I thought it'd be really cool if we made a tree, but it's a broken candy cane. It's like a candy cane tree. There's no leaves, so say what you want about it being a tree, but I think this turned out really cool. It's maybe a little over detailed, but I had to get pretty creative with the walls and the fences, because there isn't really any like exact red and white colors. But still, I'm really happy with how this turned out. It looks like a bunch of broken candy canes turned into a tree. Okay, so we're now on number 23, so we're almost there, and I thought it was about time I should probably start stepping up my game and showing that I actually have been able to improve through this challenge. So I went a little extreme with the branches, and actually, I feel like this tree is where the branches started to look a lot better. And as you can see, I went for that little amethyst split in the tree. I thought that was really cool. And the tire swing, it's a little big for a tire, but I couldn't figure it out. Okay, I couldn't figure it out. But all in all, this turned out really cool. I'm really happy with this one. Alright, and number 24, you may be really confused. Morg, why are you using orange concrete? That's so ugly. No, just hold on a second. Okay, it's gonna get better. Just watch this. The power of World Edit. Now it's a cooler looking orange with different blocks, and so this tree, I'm not really sure exactly what kind of tree it is. It's some like alien tree or whatever, I don't know. But I decided to play with the orange and purple colors because those kind of contrast each other. I don't have a color theory degree or whatever, but I thought it looked cool, okay? And then I also added some amethyst and stuff, and then the blue nylium stuff on the ground. I don't know what it's called. Warped, I think. I don't know. It's a little bit of a crazy tree, but I think this turned out really nice. It may be a little over detailed with the leaves, but I think the glass and the banners and the amethyst, it all looks really cool. And leaves are supposed to look busy and wild. Alright, and last but not least, number 25, I decided to go back to my love for cherry blossom trees. But I decided to make this one a lot bigger than the previous ones, and to go all out for this one. I also used a bunch of nether bricks, like, to texturize it, and I think it looked really cool. Because it's a very similar dark purple color to the cherry blossom logs. And then for the leaves, I decided not to go with the normal cherry blossom leaves, because, sorry Mojang, but I don't like them. I mean, they look cool, but also, I think it looks a lot better to use a bunch of different pink blocks. And then I also added a bunch of detail on the ground, because, I don't know, I thought it looked cool. And that is the final tree complete.